All right, great. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Thank you for being with me, for tuning in right now. How are you doing today? The date is the 5th of March of 2021. Can you believe it? We are already in March of the year 2021. Today, I love this opportunity. I love all the technology and everything else. Every month in our office, we put together a monthly seminar. And I love doing these monthly seminars because we get to go a mile deep into a different topic of law every month. And so normally, I love it more than I love it this time. This time, I'm talking about a topic that I personally have like a love-hate relationship with. Like, I kind of hate the topic I'm going to talk about. And so, but, we can love to talk about the things we hate, right? The reason I hate it is I'm going to talk about what to do if USCIS denies your case. Well, it's not fun. I hate it when USCIS denies cases, all right? But it's an important thing to discuss. It's an important thing to, know what strategies to implement, know what to do if USCIS does, in fact, deny your application for whatever benefit you are seeking. All right, so that's what I want to talk about in our monthly seminar today. So, if you've received a denial from USCIS, if you've ever received a denial from USCIS, you may have been in this situation. And the truth is that right now, it's March 2021, our office is receiving a lot of people calling in, like the world out there. USCIS is picking up. They're not at full throttle yet because of the pandemic, but they're picking up. And as USCIS picks up, more and more officers are reviewing cases. And as more and more officers review cases, it just so happens that, yes, there are an increase in denials happening. All right? And so what do you do? What do you do if your application for a benefit, your immigration petition, maybe your work permit, maybe your application for a green card, what do you do if those things got denied? Well, your first step is you want to review carefully the decision. All right? And it just so happens that not all USCIS decisions are created equal. And I've got some examples for you here, okay? I've got two examples that I wanted to share. This is one decision. I don't want to zoom in too closely because this is actually our client's decision, right? There's confidential information in this. But this decision is a 2-page document, all right? Very, very simple document, basically saying, hey, there was one document that was not included in their filing, and so they're going to deny the case. All right? And so the case is denied, and so now what do we do? And what might we do to fix it? So now the client comes in, calls our office, hey, my other lawyer messed up. Or, hey, I filed my case on my own, and I messed up. And now USCIS has denied it, and they've got one little thing that they say we didn't do. And so can we correct it? Yes, we can correct it. All right, so that's the first example. The second example is this one, all right? This one is an 18-page document, all right? I can't even open all the pages in this document with like details of, hey, you said this in your interview, and hey, you filed this document, and hey, we sent you a request for evidence and you responded with these 20 things all listed. And they're saying that after review of absolutely everything in your file, right? After a review of absolutely everything in your file, sorry, but it's not good enough. There's not enough evidence to show your eligibility for whatever benefit you were seeking. Like sometimes a USCIS officer will say, hey, we just need this or that. And other times, a USCIS officer will be like, hey, we've reviewed absolutely everything here, and they'll go into like very, very specific reasons explaining why they think, according to them, not enough evidence was submitted to substantiate your eligibility for the benefit you're seeking. All right? And so how do you respond? How do you respond? And how you respond to each of these might be different depending on which one of these you got. And so anyway, I wanted to kind of explain that. So your first step is to read thoroughly, read carefully, read with like a pen or a pencil or a highlighter, making nuanced notes on every single thing that immigration is saying was wrong, was incorrect, was inadequate. All right? And so, yes, step one, read through everything carefully in the denial. And then step two is you want to decide what your game plan is. All right? And typically at that point, you'd want to call a lawyer. Feel free to call my office if you don't have a good lawyer who knows what they're doing, because you're going to want a good lawyer who knows what they're doing in order to give you a chance to save your case. All right? So step two is you're going to want to meet with a lawyer, and you're going to want to decide on a game plan. Like, what's the best option? What's the best thing to do? And basically, there's three options. Basically. All right? Basically, there's three options. You want to know what they are? Option number one. You might refile your case. Refile it, right? Maybe there was a mistake from the beginning, and now it's time to refile everything. Option number two is you could appeal. You could file an I-290B. All right? Option number three, which sometimes is makes the best sense, is do nothing. That's right, do nothing. Don't refile, don't appeal. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your effort. If you're clearly not eligible for that benefit, if there was a mistake regarding your eligibility, then sometimes the best case is to do nothing. All right, so I want to talk about these three options. All right? I want to talk about them. So option number one is to refile the case. When is it best to just refile your whole petition all over again? When is it best to refile that waiver all over again? When is it best to, restart all over? Well, this is my opinion, all right? My opinion is that's normally not the way that I want to do it. That's normally not the way I want to do it. Typically, it's better to do an I-290B, submit additional evidence, submit arguments to appeal the decision, and correct any mistake that was made. But sometimes, all right, sometimes your evidence and your forms were so bad, sometimes there's so many corrections that need to be made, right? Sometimes it's going to be a lot cleaner. It's going to be a lot simpler. Yeah, it might take a little bit longer, but ultimately it's going to be a less frustrating experience to start over clean, start over fresh, and do it right from the beginning. All right? And that's what option one, refiling your case, can do. Maybe you filed for... the other thing is, I'll say this, all right? Sometimes there was a problem with the day it was filed. So, maybe you got married, and you're filing a marriage-based green card, for example. All right? This is just an example. I'm just thinking about it kind of off the cuff here. Say you're filing a marriage-based green card. But say you go and you get married, all right? And you get married at the church or whatever. And then you file your case. But then like 10 days later or something, that marriage gets registered with the city or with the authority that like formally made the marriage legal. All right? I'm just making this up. If that were the case, then actually you would want to refile your case because it'll be denied and they'll say, hey, you weren't legally married at the time that you submitted the case. So sorry, you're going to have to refile. And so sometimes things like that happen. If there was a problem with your eligibility originally on the date that you filed your case, sometimes the best thing is, hey, you're going to have to refile everything. Frustrating, yes. Time consuming, yes. Annoying, yes. And still, it's the best thing. It's the best way to correct the issue. All right? So that brings us to option 2. When is option 2, which is to file that I-290B, which remember, when you file an I-290B, you're saying one of 3 things. You're either appealing, you're saying, hey, the officer, you got it wrong, right? Or you're submitting a request to reopen that case saying, it's not just that you got it wrong, you actually got it right, officer, but if you had only seen this evidence, like let's submit these other declarations, these other photo evidence, these other whatever it might be that you could add to the case that could make a difference in the outcome. All right, that's a motion to reopen. The third thing that an I-290B is a motion to reconsider. Like if maybe there's like a new case that was just decided. Maybe there's some other legal issue, right? There's an error of law. If that's the case, then you want to file an I-290B. All right, so when we get this advice, or we get this question, right? This question seeking legal advice in our office all the time. And so the question is, when should I file an I-290B? Or really, what should I do if I was denied? Well, file an I-290B if there's new or additional evidence that wasn't originally included that could make a difference in the outcome. Like brainstorm, right? Brainstorm all of the evidence that might exist somewhere that could potentially make a difference in the outcome. Put it all together, file that I-290B, explain why it wasn't included originally, and ask them to reopen the case and grant your request. Or if there was an error in the law, or if there's some other explanation, right? Declarations, legal explanation, whatever, that might make a difference. If you have those, then okay, file the I-290B. That's great. So remember, option 1, refile everything. Option 2, file an I-290B. And what's option 3? Option 3 is do nothing. All right? So like, when is it best to do nothing? Not refile, not file an I-290B, just be like, hey, sorry there, immigration, didn't mean to file that. All right, I see that it was denied. Hope you don't do anything against me about it. All right, sometimes it's best to do nothing. My advice is it's best to do nothing if you are not eligible for that benefit to begin with. All right, if it was like maybe not very well advised to file that request or that benefit to begin with, maybe you shouldn't do anything because at this stage they've denied it. All right? The other instance where it makes sense to do nothing sometimes, right, and talk to a lawyer about this, but, is if there is some other benefit that's not that one, if there's some other maybe new benefit that you will soon become eligible for or that you are now eligible for that might be better for you. All right? Say, for example, you filed a green card through a spouse and that's having challenges, you're having challenges documenting the bona fides of your relationship with your spouse, but say now your child, who's a U.S. citizen, just turned 21. Well, maybe it's simpler to document the fact that that's your child rather than it is to document the fact that it's your spouse and it was a bona fide relationship. Who knows? All right? And so if there's some other benefit or some other case that might be stronger for you or better for you, sometimes it makes sense to do nothing and not respond after USCIS has denied your case. Lastly, option 3, do nothing, can be better if you have literally exhausted every single argument, and if you have literally put in every single piece of evidence that possibly could be found, and there's no other document to ever prove anything in your case. Like if you had the greatest lawyer on planet Earth, if you had every single piece of evidence in there, if you made every argument possible and they still deny it, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe just wait some time and refile in the future, right? After something changes in your life or something like that. All right? In my opinion, that's never the case. In my opinion, there's time to brainstorm, time to get out the whiteboard, time to think about what evidence could possibly exist. All right? Could we go and, I don't know, meet with a psychologist? Could we go and ask 30 more people for letters of support to help explain that nuance in your case, whatever the type of case was? I think that there's always something else that could be done. All right? And so that's basically all I wanted to discuss. My final advice to you is, yes, it can be scary for people. We have clients coming in and they're crying, they're nervous. It can be scary to have your case denied. But please, this is my best advice is please do not panic. All right? There are still options. Don't panic. Instead, seek out a good lawyer and, if possible, push back. File that I-290B, push back, reopen your case, submit additional evidence, find the way. And, if you are eligible for the benefit and it was just denied for documentation purposes, they say there wasn't enough evidence submitted with the case, push back on that. Find some more evidence. Get creative. And file that I-290B and put your arguments in. That's really my best advice. All right? So here's the thing. Thank you for being here. Stay with me for just a minute because I want to thank you for being here with me. All right? So in order to do that, I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to give you a special discount on a consultation with our office. All right? Consultations with our office typically cost $165. All right? If you contact our office as a result of this monthly seminar, I will take $100 off of that price tag, bring it down to $65. Okay? And so, take advantage of that. Also, I'm going to give you our most popular guide. All right? These are the 12 things that all immigrants should avoid in the United States guide. This is a guide. I'm going to give it to you absolutely free. All right? Now, in order to do that, I've got to share my screen here. How do I do this? Bear with me. No. Okay. I don't remember how to share my screen. Anyway, pull out your phone, and I want you to text the word I-290B. All right, can you do that? Text the word I-290B, and I'm going to repeat this number. It's not the number that's on the bottom of the screen. I want you to send this to a specific number so that my team can be in communication with you. That number is 510-726-8653. All right? Again, text the word I-290B to 510-726-8653. And I swear I can, let's see here, maybe, no, not that, maybe there's like some fancy way that I can do this. Danitza's watching me, and she's like, oh my gosh, this guy. Okay, wait, okay, here we go. I can figure it out. Okay, maybe you can see me. All right, can you see this? Okay, so text the word I-290B to here. I'll even make it like big. From current slide. Look at this technology, people. It is amazing. All right, so pull out your phone. Text the word I-290B to oh, come on. There we go. Reduce my talking head. Text the word I-290B to 510-726-8653, and we will give you your free guide, your top 12 things that all immigrants should avoid guide, and we will get you a discount on a consultation with my team. You know, if USCIS has denied your case, yes, that is frustrating. Yes, that is annoying. Yes, it can be scary, all right? Please don't panic. Please get good help. Please get good advice. My office is here to help you, all right? Thank you so much for being with me today. I am Otis Landerholm, Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. We'll see you on the next one. All right, bye-bye.